What up, guys? We're going to go and get the driver's meeting out of the way. Welcome to the DES Xfinity race here at EchoPark Speedway, aka Atlanta. Please remain off the track until after the driver's meeting is completed. Tonight will be a total of 115 laps. We'll have stage breaks at 20 and 50. That is 20 and 50. We have no fast repairs, 4 additional sets of tires, 80% fuel. A few things to note: the only black flags will be cleared for passing under yellow to the wrecked cars and wrecking into the pits. We will not clear black flags for speeding through pits or unsafe entry or exit. During restarts, keep the pack tightened up. Laying back to jump to start will result in a penalty, and when taking the green flag, you must maintain your line until you cross the straight. After the yellow flag's out, you safely made it through any wreckage. Please catch up with the pace car immediately. And when cycling through a green flag stop, state over the radio what your intentions are to allow others to move around you. We are going to ask that we keep all racing above the red and white line. Keep it on the racing surface, so do not cut below that red and white line to advance your position. Also, just as a heads up, pit entrance is on the backstretch, so make sure you guys hit a practice. Make sure you guys know what you're doing through there. Good luck tonight, guys. Have some fun.
Hey, Mike, I know you think your truck is totally sick, but this is what I think of your precious 4x4 hang out all day with your stupid friend's truck! Push it!
All right, here we are. My mic is loud. Here we are. We have Atlanta, or known as Echo Park now. We have 115 laps. Stage breaks at 20 and 50. I got Christian with me. Christian, how are you, man?
Man, I'm doing good. Excited about this race. I love racing at Atlanta. I love watching it. It's a kind of a super speedway, kind of not a super speedway. It's just a totally different style of racing than what we're used to, man, and it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, we had this racetrack for Legacy yesterday. It was a quite interesting race. I'm looking forward to seeing what we see tonight.
Yeah, we got a lot of drivers in here tonight. It's going to be a good lineup here. Looking like we've got about 31 drivers. Well, 30 because my name's on that list too. So we're going to have 30 drivers here. It's going to be that, like I said, that super speedway speed kind of pack racing, but we are on a 1.8 mile track, so it's going to be a whole nother ball game. Going to be a lot of incidents, I feel like, tonight, but here we go, getting ready to grid up. Damon, you want to help me here with this?
I'm not good with names, but we got David White and we got Jordan Trass on the pole. We got Tyler Watts and Hunter Davis in the second row. Craig Knoll and Judson Curtis back here in the third row. Todd Perrant, Max Dinda in the fourth row back here. Ryan Godfrey and Matthew Tennant. Go ahead, Christian.
Row 6, starting in 11th, we got the 25 of Matthew Franklin on his outside, the 92 TRN's Edwin Warren. Row 7, we got the 40 of Ben Kuhn on his outside, is the 70 of David Hickey. Row 8, we got the 86 of Zach Reichel. Good to see him back and on track with us. And his outside, the 21, Aaron Underhill. We got Charles Connor with Jonathan Geis on his outside, row 9. Row 10, we got the 3 of Sean Dion with the 29 of Donald Calcutt on his outside. Row 11, we got the 64 of Joseph Gisa with Tom Ringer going to be starting on his outside. Followed by row 12 with John Crosby and Brian Souza. Row 13, we got the 5 of Brandon Hinton and Cody Benzel. Row 14, we got J.B. Harrison in that 58 truck or car tonight with Earl Lee on his outside. And that's going to be rounding up everybody that is going to be on track tonight.
Man, Earl Lee's even in there. We're in trouble.
Yeah, he's going to show some of them superior driving skills. You know, he does excel at these super speedway configurated tracks here. So expect to see him going from the back to the front throughout the race, keeping his nose clean and staying out of as much of that as he can.
Yep. Yep.
Got these guys lined up, ready to go here. Jordan Tross, David White, going to be leading the charge with that pole position as soon as this green flag goes. And here it goes. Starting lap 1 of 115 here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. I refuse to call it by its other name. See some guys early go ahead and move down there to the bottom row. The 26 got a good start and opened up that gap.
3 wide already up here.
And here it comes, folks. The opening lap of the 115 lap race here, sponsored by Darts Without Feathers in the books. Starting lap 2, Hampton White in that 26 was able to maintain that lead. Got the 79 of Jordan Tross staying in second behind him. You know, Damon, one thing that's hard for these drivers to do, and I can attest to it myself, the shape of the tri-oval, it's so weird. It's actually a quad oval shape because it's got 2 independent turns there. Now that it's a super speedway configuration, that red line is a no-go zone. You cannot go down that below that red line with the left side tires of your car at all. That is out of bounds. If you do go down that and gain any position, you are going to have to get that position back. If you don't, then you can be penalized later on.
And, you know, as you heard on the broadcast, we had Hunter out there at the very beginning. He made sure everybody knew. So, yeah, Hunter does a great job with his announcements before the race.
Here we go. Now we're getting into having two lines kind of fester together there. Try and get some of these guys pushed up to the front. You do have the 35 Judson Curtis, our last night's Talladega winner, going to be behind the 79 of Jordan Tross. Let's see if he's going to be able to push the Tross up to the... Oh, 26 might have gotten a bad push there. Got a little bit of swirliness going on.
Where do you feel more comfortable, that top line right there or being on the bottom?
Really, it's one of those weird things for me. I'm more comfortable being on that top line just because of the way that I like to run this track. Normally on a super speedway, I hate being on the top line because you just get stuck if there's any kind of contact or anything there. So really, it just depends on if I'm trying to push it and gain position or if I'm trying to just hang out. But I'm more comfortable on the top line at this track. You know, with it being a super speedway, these guys are on the floor the whole time. They're not lifting unless they got somebody in front of them that they have to check up for. But because it is technically a 1.5 mile track, it's about 1.82 miles. You can get loose in these turns, so if you're not careful, you can loop it and get self-spin yourself.
A little bit different than being at Talladega or Daytona.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if you're at Talladega, Daytona, you're one of these front runners, you got nobody in front of you, you're to the floor the whole time. You lift and you're just going to cause issues behind you. Here, you kind of got to lift a little bit to keep that car underneath you. Eight laps now in the books. We have stayed green the entire time. These guys are just kind of cruising around. I think they know about these stage breaks, and they're just going to try and maximize the points they can get. Got a roof view here of the leader, the 26. That is David Hampton White. See that he's got his teammate, the 88, behind him. It looked like the 88 was going to try and make a move when he gave him that little bit of position, but thought better of it. You know, it's still technically a super speedway, so it's nice to have those drivers that are around you that you know are going to help you. You know, you see it there a little bit. We had drivers kind of getting loose there on that front stretch going through that quad oval. You know, some of these drivers, they like to hang around the back. We got 3 stages tonight. If they're not that worried about getting some of these stage points, it don't mean that much to them. They can just drive around first and second stage, just staying with the pack, staying on track, counting those laps down, and come that last stage, start fighting for it and get all the way up there to the front and hopefully get a win and not have to deal with
You know, Christian, it's been a good green flag run here. I'd like to see this. I don't want to jinx us.
as you say that 70 or 67 is into the wall, bouncing off a couple other drivers. He's going to be way off pace and lose a lot of positions, but we do stay green. Our stage breaks tonight are going to be laps 20 and 50. That's going to be the last concluding laps for stage 1 and stage 2. These guys do have about 40 to 45 laps of fuel. So they're going to have enough fuel to get through stage 1. I don't think I'm going to see hardly anybody come down pit road stage 1 because they will have enough fuel if they're saving right to make it to stage 2. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes down pit road.
Yeah, it is. It really is. We got another 3 laps here before we're going to be at our first stage break at lap 20. Our second stage break is going to be lap 50.
So you see that those bobbles there coming through that quad oval. I mean, it's really hard to maintain a line when you have that situation. You know, looking at all the other super speedways, Talladega and Daytona, they have a tri-oval, so it's just a big curve up there. It kind of is hard to run that full throttle knowing you can't go below that line anymore. Back with the old configuration, it was a yellow line down there, and you could cut that whole front stretch. You could cut those corners. And now that you can, it kind of just gets everybody a little squirrely, and you'll see a lot of accidents happening there.
And we're just about at our stage break here.
Got the 79. He's trying to just get a nose out in front of White there. See if come through the tri-oval if he's going to be able to make it stick. We do got one drop below the apron. He didn't gain a position, so he should be okay.
All right. Wow, wow, wow.
That is going to conclude it for us. On our stage 1, we're going to show that the 26 of Hampton White is going to be your first place finisher for stage 1. You got 79 Jordan Tross, Judson Curtis, Hunter Davis, and Tyler Wallace. That's going to be your top 5 for the stage. As we do see that most of these guys are going to come down and pit because they know that they are going to be just a little shy of making it on the fuel mileage.
Just about everybody. I guess that answered your question right here, huh?
But while we go down pit road, get some fuel, get some new tires possibly, let's see about going and taking a quick commercial break and being right back.
Hi there, I'm Denise St. Clair, and I am so excited to introduce my co-host for today's exciting event. Former champion of the Albuquerque Open, it's Monica Blake, everybody.
I'm thrilled to be here, Denise. Why don't we get started?
Absolutely.
So no one wants to play with dirty equipment. That's why you have to keep your balls clean. Problem is, bar of soap just doesn't cut it. See? Still dirty.
Well, how can guys clean their balls so that they're more enjoyable to play with?
Well, there's finally a tool that can really get the job done. The Axe Detailer. Cleans your balls. Why don't we start with these small balls? With a soft side for lather, and a rough side for scrubbing, this can make any ball sparkly and new. Go ahead and play with those clean balls, Denise.
Wow. Could play with these balls all day. Let's see if the audience has any questions.
You there.
Can it clean these filthy balls?
Throw those fuzzy suckers down here. Look. Cleans right through the prickly surface.
What about my ball sack?
Just plop it right here and let's get to work.
All right, there's the conclusion of our first stage. We're gonna get going here. Christian, been a good first. It was all green flag, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we had a clean first stage. Hopefully, we can keep it clean like that. And, you know, we got tonight a in-car commentator. We got the 48 of Max Dinda. He's up in the booth with us as well as on track. Max, that first stage, you guys were able to keep it green there. How's the track feeling?
Yeah, it felt fine. The first lap, second lap actually, I got loose going in the first corner. I didn't do any practice laps, so that might be a part of it, but it felt pretty loose on the first few laps, but once I got some heat in the tires, it evened out pretty good, so it's racing more like a fast intermediate than a super speedway, I feel like, so different, but...
Yeah, that's one thing that I had brought up earlier is that it is technically a super speedway configuration, but we can get loose. But man, you're about to go green. Good luck. Hope you can keep a shiny side up out there.
Yep, thank you.
All right, about to go green here. Pace car is off. Here we go, 79. He takes off.
He had quite the jump, huh?
Absolutely. Kind of got him a good gap there. You see that bottom line, it already kind of formed. Some of them guys just trying to make that top line work, swapping sides, trying to get position. And the 92, he goes around. Oh! Big wreck. They're still wrecking.
Oh, no.
So many cars involved in that. Man, let's go look back at that again. That is the 92 of Edwin Warren. Looks like he got loose there. Yeah, you see him get loose there. He hits that oval or that apron and it shoots him up. And then just everybody just kind of forgets where their brake pedal is and just holds it to the floor, causing more carnage, more chaos, and just really, really hurting some other drivers out there. But let's go ahead and look right here at the 92 on what started the initial incident.
All right, let's take a look here. Sorry about that. I had to do some race control.
He gets a bunch of speed, goes to the top, and then just loses it up there. Once he hits that apron, I mean, it just slung the car around.
That's what you're talking about. Unlike other super speedways, you can push, get loose right on these corners.
Yeah.
I think that was it right there.
And then, you just see most of these drivers you see them stopped on track and getting hurt. They just, didn't check up, didn't slow down, just blew through all the carnage, and a lot of them got collected up and got a bunch of damage. And that's unfortunate for them, Damon, because there is no fast repairs in this series. The damage they have, the damage they have, they've got to go down pit road and get that fixed. I'm going to go ahead and take a look down pit lane here, and we still have a good number of cars. We do have some that are trying to come off pit road, beat this pace car out before the pit exit closes. You're going to have 3 of them. You got the 3 of Sean Dion. Next coming out is going to be, looks like the 4 of Chuck Burley, that they've got damage fixed, and now they're hopefully going to get back on track and be able to hold it up there.
Well, one of our drivers that we have in-house right here, Earl, he is going against this rule, and he is up there in 11th place now. What happened, Earl? Did you get forced up there with that wreck?
Forced up there with the wreck. I let people go by, end up back in the back.
So you'll fall back down until that next stage break to bring you into the 3rd stage. But good luck, Earl.
Yeah, it's not time to start racing yet.
All right, well, don't find yourself too close to the front there, Earl, and good luck. All right, Christian, you think we're going to have another big green flag run like we did last time after this one here?
Yeah, I think, that could have been a single accident that people are going to learn from. It was just a small mistake on the driver. That wasn't, anything that we haven't seen before. Like I said, you just get loose on track, you hit that apron, and it just wants to sling your car around. Different tracks, if you would have slid like that and went on the apron, he would have been able to save it. The 92 Edwin Warren, he's good at saving those cars once they get sideways and once you start spinning out. So I think some of these guys are going to learn from that incident there and maybe slow down next time there's a wreck. And hopefully we'll stay green for a lot longer. Yeah, and like you were saying, we do see the 329 of Earl Lee made his way up to 15th place. Got the 40 of Ben Kuhn working by himself out there, trying to make that top line work. It doesn't seem like he's going to be able to do anything without getting any help. But joining us in the booth from the Infield Care Center, we do have the 92 of Edwin Warren. Got taken out there by a mass amount of ARCA braking after he self-spun. Edwin, man, walk us through what happened out there and how you're feeling.
Yeah, I went into the corner, everything was fine, I had momentum, and then the 25, he jumped to the outside, and that kind of like pulled the arrow with me. So I was like, I gotta follow the car where it's going. I go to the outside, it creeps up to the outside wall, and it just sucks up right to the wall, and I start spinning, and I hit my own teammate, Mr. Geist, in the side, and that was survivable damage. We both were survivable off of that. And then I guess people just decided their brake pedals don't exist and ran right into me. I mean, I got ping pong balled around. I mean, I had already been spun for a while, but
I gotta say, I think that is almost verbatim exactly what I said when I was watching it happen live. Was that I think brake pedals don't exist anymore out here. Man, it's super unfortunate that that's how your race ended with the self-spin. The air on these cars and these turns is really weird on how they work. I mean, you can get somebody too close to your rear end and it lifts the air off and now you're spinning and they don't even have to touch you. But then for your night to be ended by just carelessness, dude, I hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, if you even look at how the field's running currently right now, you know, these guys, if you're not leading, if you notice when they go into the corner, if you're not a leader of the lap, watch them on the bottom line. You're going to see all of them pitch up. And you see how they're all coming off of the line. They're all moving away from it. The air just throws the car up. And even on the outside, it's the same way. It throws you closer to the wall. And there's so many bumps in Atlanta, too. It's things like that that you just got to pay attention to. And I'm just surprised that people weren't looking ahead as much as they should have been.
Yeah, and with that, you saying look at these drivers on track. We got some drivers out there. One who is a new name to us all is the 25 of Franklin. He's running up there in the front. Was in third. This outside line has kind of gotten ahead of him a little bit, pushing him back into fifth place. But it's good to see that our league is still growing even this late into our season.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job out there. I mean, like I said, I was behind him, and he held that car in a situation where I clearly didn't. You know, he's been doing phenomenal, and honestly, he's going to have a lot of success here. If he can really get down pat, get with some people, start talking to them, understanding how we all run, he could be pretty successful.
Yeah, and I think part of the difference between you and him in that instance was he was expecting where his car was going to go. He knew he was going to be moving up to that top line, so he was able to anticipate, steering input, throttle input, all of that stuff, and the air just sucking you up to there. You had to end up making reactionary actions versus, initiating the action, and that's tends to be what happens is a lot of guys, when that air sucks them up to the outside wall, the only thing they can do is turn more and more down the track, and then the air disappears, and now your steering wheel is turned too far.
Yeah, it's one of those situations, if you see these guys right now, going towards the bottom and somebody moving to the outside, you notice that car behind them either has to follow them or they have to cut that wheel, and it kills their momentum bad and creates a large gap. So you either present yourself in the situation, get hit from behind, or you move up and you present yourself in the situation of what happened to me. Like, for instance, the 25, he moved up on quarter entry. It didn't pull me up until mid of corner 3, and that's where it all kind of spiraled out of control.
Yeah, and that's things I try to explain to people when, I tell them that I follow NASCAR. I love oval racing. I like short track racing, but I also love road racing. NASCAR doing road racing. I like the IMSA GT3s. I like watching their multi-class races in general, but one thing I have to explain to people is, yeah, you're only turning left. I understand that, but they don't understand that the 88, if he moves out of line right now, it can take the air off of the 79 on his rear end and throw him sideways. I mean, there's a lot of factors into being out here racing with the manipulating the car to drive the way you want versus just turning left.
You are so factual in that, and the best way I would like to explain it is, imagine a rubber band, right? The whole track is a rubber band, right? And we're going to use the 88 as an example again. Say the 88 moves up. He's going to pull that rubber band. And when he pulls that rubber band, it's going to pull at the rear end of the 79 and the front end of the 25. And that's going to pull them both up the track in different ways. The 79 is going to get loose. The 25 is going to get tight. And both those require very different responses to the situation at hand.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could have said that any better. The visual imagery on that explanation was top tier. So thank you for that.
Oh, yeah, that's how I run super speedways, Yesterday in the Legacy trucks, I got a 4th place position. We had 2 close finishes for 1st and 3rd. And it was based off that rubber band mentality. We kept that rubber band tight to each other, and we were able to finish the race. But we also saw wrecks where people pulled on that rubber band or pushed on that rubber band, and it caused the problem. And if you look right now, you see these guys are running in a casual kind of way. The 26 is up high. He's pulling away from those cars. He doesn't want to impact their rubber band versus his rubber band. Because if he gets into theirs, it's going to pull them down, and it's going to pull them up. So he is trying to stay away from them in the corner to make sure he's not impacted by that circumstance.
Yeah, you got a lot of these guys out here. So if you're running formula cars and you're on an open track, you got your lefts, your rights, your chicanes, all of those different things, but it's all anticipated reactions to the turns, throttle input, and everything. That track. Coming up where your braking point is. When you're going to turn. Where the apex and all of that comes in, and it's very hard to try and multitask and do all of that at the same time. But then you come to oval where there's drivers closer around you to where even if you're doing the exact same thing, you're anticipating where you need to arc so you can maximize your apex, saving your tires, your turning steering ratio and inputs to slingshot you out to the outside wall on some of these other tracks. And yeah, as one gets into the wall, that's the 40 of Ben Kuhn. You have to worry about what the other drivers are doing because their movements can manipulate your race car. And so you're not just worrying about your one formula car going around the track, you're worrying about what the guys around you are doing.
And yeah, as they're, 6 laps till the stage break, you're hitting the nail on the head. Like if we put it in words of road course racing, Watkins Glen and its carousel, right? That nice sweeping corner. What happens if the car you're following into the corner and you swing to the outside, he goes to the bottom and then jumps up to the outside in the carousel? What happens to your car behind him? It's going to push you off the track. That's the aerodynamic thing that they're battling corner after corner after cornering all race.
Yeah, we got just a few laps left here, Edwin. These guys have kept it green. They're staying clean here, but it looks like there's not as many cars on track as there was in the beginning.
Yeah, a lot of these wrecks took out a lot of us, man. I mean, Atlanta is a tough one. It's very tough. It's extreme. We started this race with 28, 29 people on track, and it's tough out here. You can't just run wherever you want to. This is not a track where you get into a momentum and you run lap after lap aiming for your line. You guys spread out. No, you're on top of each other the whole time. You have to adjust the entire time. Like, for instance, that inside line, as we say again, you see it pushing up more and more through the corner. You see the outside line pushing up more and more as we got a caution out now before the stage break.
Yeah, that is going to... Welcome back, Atlanta Motor Speedway, up here with my fellow commentator, Edwin Warren. Man, this has been a good race so far. We also have our in-car commentator tonight, Max Dinda, up here. Edwin, got anything for Max?
Max, You, me, and both have been running out there today. Tell me how that aero pushing and pulling is feeling for you.
Yeah, I mean, you can do a lot of aero things with this car. I mean, the draft alone at this track is huge. If you don't have it, you're so off pace. So the draft really matters here, and having like a car that can push you, even if they don't touch you, they can still have a little bubble of air between you, and you still gain more speed than what you would with just him behind you.
Yeah, that air in between cars there is going to be huge here, and being able to, manipulate is the word of the day. Manipulate that air in that car to do what you want is going to be the key to success here tonight, I think.
Yeah, it's seeming like, that push and pull, that rubber band is really hitting people. I mean, even if we look, we probably will look at it a little bit later, but if you look at what happened under the caution that just happened, it was a prime example of that exact scenario. I mean, it's a rubber band. You're either pushing or you're pulling there, and that's where it's a problem. So we're looking here right now at the replay. Watch this, right? So they go into the corner, 59 decides to go down low, and look at it start pulling the 67 down. He gets close to the 3, and it pulls him into the 3 as well.
Yeah, and that's what brought out that caution, bringing us to our stage break. And like we've been talking, we're going to be preaching about it all night.
I'll explain it. All right, so we're taking a look at this replay again here. We're going to take a look at the 67, right? So look at the 67. He sees the 59 has a run. He does move up to cover it off. 59 pulls down. Now watch ever so slight. You see the rear end start kicking? That's the car pulling down. Now, yes, they got some net code there that also pulled them into each other. But right there, right before the net code, you could see the arrow pull, that rubber band effect. He pulled on the rubber band. The 59 caused the 67 to pull on that rubber band, and it snapped back, and it sent them both around.
Yeah, that's just goes to show. I mean, it's not a fault of any of the drivers. It's just a fault of how the air works here, and it's unfortunate for both of those. But it does look like, are they both on track? I thought I seen them.
I think they're both still out on track, but they're not going to be happy with each other. But when they take a look at the replay, they're going to see that, and they're going to see that it wasn't a circumstance of either of them. As we're about to go through Austin McKnight, the 03, leading the way.
Yeah, those two guys are actually out of the pits and on track, and they are both currently only one lap down. So they're going to be the only guys that are going to be fighting each other on that lap. So track position for them is going to be very important for the next Lucky Dog.
Now, here's the interesting part. They are not happy with each other. So best believe they're about to get fighting with each other for that Lucky Dog position, as the 03 is now going to try and sail around the 79. He's going to have the 25 in tow with him, and they're going to look to separate themselves.
Yeah, looking here, though, Austin Knight in that 03 car, he is 31 laps since his last stop. He did not take fuel. I don't know if he is anticipating another caution, trying to push it out this next 15 to 20 laps he has available in fuel, or what his plan is here, but it's going to be interesting to see if it pays off for him.
Yeah, you only got about 45 to 55 laps worth of fuel depending on where you're running. Him being up front like that, that's going to be about 45 laps. He is going to be trying his hardest. Now, I'm going to let you take it over, Christian. I have a little bit of technical difficulties I got to square away real quick, and then I will be right back to broadcast with you, brother.
Yeah, I got you, man. So speaking of the 03, that is the newest edition. He was just signed as a driver for Beer Run Racing. So, welcome to Beer Run to him. He doesn't have any teammates around him per se at the moment. He's just up there on an island by himself. And I don't know if that is because he's the only one that pitted, or where are his teammates? Yeah, see, his teammate, the 6 Ryan Godfrey, he's also out there on 30 laps without pitting. You got the 60 of Brian Souza. He did pit that last time, so a little bit different than his teammates. But I think 3 might be onto something. If another caution comes out and he's able to pit at the right time and get that fuel window going just right for him, he might be able to stay out in the front with the leaders. Got one rub the wall coming out of 4 there. No caution comes out. He is able to save it. He's also flashing a little bit back there, so we'll have to keep an eye on him and his internet connection.
I think, Christian, we've had some good...
Don't forget about the broadcaster's curse. I feel like the entire time that I've been broadcasting, I feel like every time I talk about green flag runs, something happens. So I'm going to stay away from that.
Well, we have a long run until the end here. This should be interesting. I think even the people out there are going to have to get fuel, right?
Guys, everybody just kind of holding their line, trying to make positions happen where they can. Hearing some of these guys on the radio, it sounds like yeah, the fuel window, these guys are gonna have to stop and get fuel. Nobody's gonna have enough to make it to the end here. All right, we're back here. Edwin, looking at this replay, man, walk us through what you see here.
Yeah, what I see here is it looks like the 67 got that little arrow kind of push or got over a bump or something, and it sent him into the outside wall. And then once he hit the wall, it bounced him down into the field. And super speedway racing, a lot of guys wouldn't know where to go, like the 329 Earl Lee, all those guys just getting collected. I mean, they can't be mad at him for that. They can't be too upset with him. I mean, something caused him to bounce into that wall and created this situation that we're now existing in now.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I just want to say is, if you look at how many cars got collected in that were just on the racetrack and had nothing to do with it, significantly low amount of drivers compared to that first incident where there was like 8-10 cars bumping and getting damaged.
Yeah, and if you look at the replay even more, Tom Ringer slid by the skin of his teeth. I mean, look at that. It happened right in front of him. Then the 59's collected. Then you've got the 64 Jiza involved. Earl Lee, 33 of Benzel, the 6 of Ryan Godfrey. I'm pretty sure an entire team of drivers were taken out in that one incident right there together.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for them. Hopefully a lot of these guys didn't sustain too much damage, and they're, oh, bang, huge hit by the 329 there to the 69.
Yeah, when I say like an entire team, the team that was mainly involved was the Beer Run Racing guys, but Brian Souza actually snuck through, but his teammate Benzel was just caught up in there, had nowhere to go. And Crosby as well got through.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Earl, what happened out there, man?
It was a car in front of me.
Words of wisdom. Words of wisdom from the great Earl Lee guys. Yeah, that sucks.
I think it was Todd Perrant from Canada. Every time that I'm getting ready to make my move, a wreck happens.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate thing to happen to you, Earl. I mean, at least you made it a lot longer than I did. I got taken out pretty early on, a lot of it due to myself. So that's a testament to your skill, your, as you call them, your superior driving skills. So well done on you, Earl. Hunter Davis made it through that. This is a car that was in the front, and I believe is our points leader as well, but he is now still fine, still in this race, running back in the P13 position.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look at that. I am unsure of where the standings sit right now. Like you said, Hunter Davis is leading, but behind him is going to be Hampton White and Max Dinda. Those are going to be your top three. But the guy currently running up front right now, he's sitting fourth, and he's only 28 behind the leader. So this could be a very good race for him.
Yeah, if we were to end this race right now, it would put him in a position where he would potentially jump him in points. But as we're going green, the 79 is going to get going. He has the 63 with him. And then the 68 who slid by that wreck, he stayed out. Carnage, carnage, carnage as we go back green flag racing in this Xfinity race brought to you by Darts Without Feathers. This has been crazy. So we got these guys barreling down. Tom Ringer is going to hold true in P2 position behind his teammate Jordan Tross. But he's also got a teammate on the outside line barreling out there, trying to get something going with two teammates actually out there. They're trying to figure something out. It's unfortunate a strong hitter like Hunter Davis was taken out. You got a lot of strong, heavy hitter cars that were taken out in that last wreck. Charles Connor, he was working on his way of getting his lap back and getting back towards the front. And unfortunately, that's going to see him head to the back, and his race is probably done.
Yeah, that sucks, especially getting caught up in some stuff like that. You know, it's when it's not your fault, it makes it sting just that much more.
Yeah, it makes you angry. It makes you very angry. You know, and you get mad, but what you got to do is you got to calm yourself down, understand next week you've got something coming. I mean, think about it this way. If we want to talk in terms of people like Hunter Davis, whose race is almost guaranteed over right now, he's the champion leader in 2 series right now. He's good. And then you got to think about Charles Connor. He probably is thinking nothing goes his way, but this man just had a P3 finish in the next gen race, so he's got momentum already over there. And then, you know, I'm going to even throw myself in there. I'm mad my race was over so early, but I finished P4 in the Legacy trucks and almost could have finished P3, P2, or won it. And you know, you got to remember momentum. You have good finishes, you have bad finishes. Don't dwell on the bad one. Keep looking forward to the next race.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those, it's not going to be your last race, man. It sucks, but when that happens, you need to put your mind forward. You got to start focusing on what you can control, and that's going on to the next race and trying to get out there and push hard and maximize points.
Oh, yeah, and if we're looking at the current running order, out of the top 5, 4 of them are Rap Think guys. I want to highlight Rap Think real quick. They are very good about giving advice and helping people become better. So are a lot of our teams. You know, TRN, Bear Run Racing, Bayou Boys, they're going to give you advice and help you run regardless if you're helping them out at all. Because at the end of the day, they want a good race. They don't want a wreck fest. They want a good race. And based off all these people trying and helping and teaching people, we're seeing better races. Because I'm not going to lie to you, Christian. This Atlanta race, the way this track is, the way everything is, this should have been a caution fest. You should have had a caution every 3 to 4 laps.
You think we're gonna get see a lot more green flag runs here, or what do you think we're gonna be looking at?
I think we're at the point of long green flag runs. I think this is where we're going to get those lengthy runs, and we're going to see some good racing going on. I don't think we'll see another caution until towards the end of this race. As we hear the 3 car, he's upset about something.
Oh, got one scrubbing the wall there. He's gonna lose a couple positions.
Now we're coming into 25 to go. Where would you like to be?
I'd like to be where Tom Ringer is right now, sitting in second, catching that draft off that first place driver and just cruising right here and waiting until the very last second. Maybe even trying to make a move when the white flag comes out, so that way I have time before the checker and try and hop up on that high line and just get a little bit of a run on the 79.
You know, I would like to say I would like to be where the 48 is, but he's a lap down. He is putting himself in a very hairy situation. I would have to, we got cars getting 3 wide, 4 wide right now. We might have an incident coming up. And they make it through cleanly. I want to be where the 26 is, sailing around the outside. The yellow flag is out. Something went down.
A lot of drivers caught up in that again. You see 2 of the beer run guys. They're going to make it through there clean. But, man, what happened here?
We're taking a look here. It's that 3-4 wide scenario and that push-up, that arrow push. That rubber band got to popping right there, man. Look at that. Look at that. We're going to take it back a little bit, rewind it a little bit. 35 is going on the inside. We're almost 4 wide. 63 bounces off the wall, slaps the 35, takes out the 86. Not a situation of his own, but look at that, man. The car on his outside, he got to pull on that rubber band, and it snapped him. And he got snapped, and that's what causes that. That's how you get these incidents. The rubber band snapped you.
Yeah, and you see as that wreck happens to 35, he ends up smacking that outside wall. You get a couple other guys that just get collected up in it. But I think a lot of these guys, like I said on the last incident, people have learned from their mistakes in that first early caution.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You got to pay attention to every aspect on the track. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back for this exciting finish of this race. We should be about 15 laps to go when we get back.
Ship my pants. Right here? Ship my pants, you're kidding.
You can ship your pants right here.
You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow, I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants, and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just shipped my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed. If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
this looks great. This must be yours. I found it on the kitchen table.
Thanks.
Mommy, have you seen my hamster?
Well, isn't he asleep in its cage?
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway with DESI Racing, the Xfinity Series, brought to you by our sponsor for this weekend is Darts Without Feathers. Man, such a cool thing, getting the opportunity to have the sponsor. It just goes to show that people, you know, in this league take care of each other and they actually care for one another.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. I mean, we've got a lot of great guys who are out here. Judson Curtis, he's out. Craig Knoll, Donald Colcutt, strong super speedway or drafting style track drivers are out of this race.
Yeah, we got an interesting front group right here. We got 79 Jordan Tross sitting in first place still. On his outside is Tom Ringer. Those are some good drivers, but you also have other guys behind them, like you got the 26. He's running up there.
He's been up there almost 90% of this race, man. He is there. Tom Ringer actually got a good launch and was able to get in front of him. And then the 40 car, his teammate was not able to get behind him. So now he's in a rat fink sandwich, man. He needs to pull out the rat poisoning and figure out a way to get by these guys. I don't know why I said that.
it was pretty good.
I think it worked.
But yeah, you see now that he's up in that top line, he's got his teammate behind him, and the 68, he said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead. There's a line developing. I'm going to cut that off and take advantage of it.
Well, because the 79, he's kind of a part-time guy for them. He doesn't have as much allegiance to him. And same with the 40 car back there. He doesn't have much allegiance to him. The 26 does not have that much allegiance to him. So they're going to figure out a way. Honestly, if I had to say it how it is, the top 6 of this race are all in it for themselves. They're going to work with whoever works best for them.
Yeah, and that's the difference that you see versus last night's race when we had teams working with each other. You had 2 rows, 5 rows deep with teammates working together, and these guys are all spread out, and you don't really have that much going on here.
They're working hard. They're working real hard right now. The 26 is looking for a way to get that 68 in front so he can go for the race win. Jordan Tross in the 79, he's going to be looking for a way to maintain that lane. The 40 car is looking for an ability to push his way towards the front because you can't win it from P6. The 73 is looking for an opportunity to get down below these guys and start moving forward. I said that a lot really fast.
It was a lot of information in a short amount of time. I will say that.
In this type of racing, you got to know how to get that information out, man. Sometimes they just really need to hear it.
Yep, and I mean, things can change so quick when you're running like this that you see it all the time. I don't talk super fast, I don't feel, and in the middle of me talking, we'll have stuff happen.
Yeah, but you're very good about highlighting the information going on right now. And, I mean, look at this right now. That outside lane all night, we have not seen it be crazy strong. But that gap between Jordan Tross and the 54, Tyler Waltz, is not going to help him. Tom Ringer and Hampton White right there are going to really be helping each other out right now. And they're going to get looking to move forward. Look at them. They're already starting to do it. Already starting to do it. But the question is, if the 26 pushes the 68 past the 79, is the 68 going to abandon him?
Absolutely. Not even going to think about it. As soon as he's clear of that 79, he's gone.
You know, you're about to be proven right. I can already see the bobbing. He's starting to try. They're fighting hard, man. Oh my God.
just getting word over the radio that the 88 has some kind of malfunctioning part, one of his front wheels on the straightaway. He was saying that if we wanted something cool to go look at, to go do a zoom in on his front wheel. I'm not sure what it looks like.
Yeah, get a nice cockpit view of him or something like that to kind of see what's happening with that car. That wheel is turned, man. You do not want to be turning that much on this track. It's not even straightening up.
I don't think he even has to turn in these turns. I think he's holding his steering wheel straight.
I think it's just pitching itself in on its own. 26 actually abandoned the 68 on the outside. He's going to jump to the inside. He's going to follow Jordan Tross.
That's a good move by him. I think he was anticipating the same thing we were talking about, thinking that, you know, if he keeps up with what he's doing, all he's going to end up doing is pushing the 68 into a better spot and not getting anything out of it for himself. So as soon as that opportunity opened up, him and the 40 went to the low line. 40 just now getting kicked out of it, having to do something to work back up to the top.
That's not something they wanted to see. They want to make sure their lane remains together, because Atlanta's not like Talladega or Daytona. You don't have 2.5 miles to figure it out. You got 1.5 miles. You got to figure it out early on. So they really got to figure something out here and get going.
Yeah, you know, that back straight stretch at Talladega and Atlanta, you have so much time back there. You're running straight. You're able to figure out where you want to go. You're watching how the guys handle these turns, and you know if the outside guy is a little bit slow, you can anticipate it and talk to the guy behind you and say, hey, on this back stretch, if I get a run, I'm going to cut up top, go with me. Here, you don't get that luxury of you know, making those plans and then doing them. You've got to act just by pure instinct.
Especially with the laps trickling down as the 40 car just displaced the 54. He's going to move him out of the way. He's going to get behind Tom Ringer. Now the question is what is he going to do with that momentum that he has? As we've got a lap car now, lap car pulls to the apron.
Yeah, I think that lap car did the right thing. That's just good heads-up racing by the 59, Matthew Tennant. That's just smart by him. He didn't go high and risk getting pinched up to the wall. He didn't stay in the low line and kill the momentum for those guys racing. He actually dropped below onto the apron, which I spoke about previously. You're not allowed to go below that red line. That's to advance or maintain your position. If you drop below there for safety, that is perfectly fine, and that's exactly what he chose to do, and there was no incidents because of it.
Yeah, the 40 car getting in there and cycling out the 54, it's caused a major issue. The 54 has dropped so far back. Tyler Waltz has fallen a lot. He is down to the P9 position, but I'm starting to see the inside line has it kind of figured out a little bit more than the outside line.
Yeah, here coming this time by, we're only going to have 5 laps to go. You've got Jordan Tross leading it with Hampton White right behind him. John Crosby following third on that bottom line. And up top with Tom Ringer and Ben Kuhn. Who do you think has the advantage right here?
Hampton White, 100%. The 68 does not have a well enough relationship with the 40 car behind them, and we're seeing it often of them breaking apart. They are not truly synced up, but the 26 and the 79 are. And I pushed the 79 to a victory here in Atlanta. It was in the trucks, but I've done it. And I can tell you right now, that guy's not going to switch lanes. If you jump out on him, he's going to stick to what he knows is tried and true. If the 26 can clear the 68, he's got the best chance to win this race.
Oh, 79 gets a little squirrely there, dips below that red line. That's probably because of awkward push by the 26. Nothing happened, no hooking. The 26 able to check up, make sure he stays out of him, and we stay green. So
48 is trying to cycle the 68 out. I'm seeing it more and more right now. He's trying to cycle him out. Watch him. He's going to give him nice bumps and stuff, But going down the front straightaway, he's going to pitch to that outside because he's trying to cycle him out of that position. I made a mistake. I said 48. I meant 40, but we've got a caution here right now. Looks like 40 car. Uneven push on the 68. He turns into the 79. 26 also goes around. All the leaders are around. Everybody's around. Wrecks all over the place.
Yeah, you look through here at the 40. What happens is the 40 cut down. He didn't awkward bump the 68 at all. The 40, it looks like to me, he cuts down. He sees an opportunity. There's 3 laps to go. He's going to try and cut out the 68 and go underneath. And the 68 came down and hooked himself. I don't think that it looks like just a normal racing incident to me. You know, these super speedways, he pushes up. The 40 says he's going to go low. 68, not completely clear, and gets into him.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at it from a different angle, I think it was definitely, and I said it about 2 laps prior to that, he was trying to cut him out. He was trying to cycle him out, and it just worked out in the worst way possible.
Yeah, like you said, man, you called it. The 40 tried cycling him out, tried getting up underneath him, and the 68 just, they just made contact. So unfortunate for them, but we are going to come to our first green-white checker attempt. That is going to leave us with 3 laps to go. But while we're pacing around here, getting set on the radio, that if we look at a in-car cockpit view of the 79 during that wreck, that I guess it's a pretty wild ride. So with this shakeup now, oh, and here we go.
Yeah, this shakeup is going to be an interesting one here. You're going to have Crosby starting P2.
Go forward like 3 more laps. There we go. Oh, there it was. Yeah, he had a big save to make right there. Play it.
Yeah. That's under pacing.
No, he get that. He
that's the wreck. Yeah, that's the wreck. He's got bad rear end damage.
Yeah, do you think that's going to affect him here?
Yeah, it's going to definitely affect him. He's not going to be able to. He's going to be able to launch, but nobody can push him now.
Yeah, it's going to make it an uneven surface there, and anybody pushes him, he'll probably get a little squirrely and lose momentum. So we'll just have to see what happens here. Going to be 1 to go this time by. Going to have your leader, Jordan Tross, outside John Crosby. The 25 of Franklin on the inside with the 5 of Brandon Hinton and 03 of Austin Knight. That's going to be your top 5 coming to this first green-white checkered attempt.
It's going to be an interesting one, man. I'm excited for it. I don't think, and I'm not trying to be devil's advocate here or anything, I don't think Jordan can beat these guys right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, green-white checkered is the same as all the other times. The leader controls all the race starts after the initial race start. The leader must maintain the pace speed after that pace car goes down, and the leader is able to start the race once he reaches the defined restart zone. We call it the Geico restart zone. It is marked by 2 white lines on the track here. He can go at any time during that point and get a start before the green flag's in the air, but that's the start of the race. Everybody else can go. If the leader chooses to not start and the green flag happens, failure to main. Where am I at? If the leader does not accelerate by the end of the start zone, the flagman will restart the race, and that would give the opportunity to the 73 to jump early and try and get a pretty good start. So, with that in mind, Edwin, when you are up front and you're doing a restart, what's going through your head? Are you trying to go at the green? Are you trying to pick a spot to go? What's your thoughts?
I jump early. As you see, these guys doing green, Jordan went a little bit late. I'm the type of person, I'm jumping as soon as we hit the restart zone. I'm always going to do that. Jordan Tross blocking the 73, but doesn't truly have him blocked. Look at him. He's kind of getting the gap.
He's trying it.
Let's see what we got here. 5 car. Look at him dicing it up. White flag out.
1 lap to go. 79. He's got the position to beat right now. He's got 2 cars that are going to be trying to make something happen. I think the 5 is going to have to get a little bit closer and try and push that 73 up there.
And he does. He does, in fact. He gets the 73 there. Let's see if the 73 can beat him on the outside. He might have this secured. No, 73 coming again. 5 car jumps out. 79 is still going to win it today.
Looking at your race here, the ending, you got the 79 Jordan Tross, followed by the 73 John Crosby, and Franklin in that 25. That's going to be your podium position winners tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Well, 115 laps is what we signed up for. 118 is 119. 118 is what we ended up getting, with the 79 of Jordan Tross being your race winner, John Crosby in second place, and Franklin in third. Congratulations to all of those guys. That is going to conclude our race tonight. Edwin, appreciate you joining me up here, man. Darts Without Feathers is who sponsored this race, so we appreciate them.